Ever since Mazda released the CX-50, it seems like all of the attention has been taken away from the CX-5. And a lot of people also think that the CX-5 will be replaced by the CX-50, but that's not true. Now granted, the CX-5 is older and is less rugged looking, but it has a significantly lower starting price, and trim for trim comparison between the CX-5 and the CX-50, you're looking at a $3,000 to $5,000 premium on the CX-50. So, is the CX-5 actually a good buy? Let's find out. Alright, so first let's talk about a few key differences between the CX-5 and the CX-50 aside from the design and looks. So number one, the CX-5 is made in Japan and the CX-50 is made in the States. Number two, the CX-5 gets a multi-link rear suspension, whereas the CX-50 gets a torsion beam setup. Number three, the CX-5 can only tow 2,000 pounds, but the CX-50 can tow 3,500 pounds. Number four, the CX-50 is a little lower, a little wider, and a little bit longer compared to the CX-5. And lastly, the CX-50 is available with a hybrid powertrain, whereas the CX-5 is not. But in today's video, we're going to focus specifically on the CX-5 because we've already featured the CX-50 a number of times on our channel, so feel free to check out those videos if you want to find out more about that car. As far as pricing structure goes, the 2025 Mazda CX-5 has a starting price of about 35,000 Canadian dollars and goes all the way up to just over 47,000 Canadian dollars after deliveries on the signature trim. This one right here is the Sport Design trim, which is a fairly high trim, and as tested, including this optional red paint, it comes in at just under 47,000 Canadian dollars after deliveries. Amongst many other bits and bobs, the Sport Design trim is the entry-level trim if you want to get the turbo engine. So under the hood is the 2.5-liter Skyactiv-G turbo inline-4 engine that produces 227 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque when you use regular gas. But if you decide to splurge and put in 93 octane gas, the engine will produce 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. Power is routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission to all four wheels. All-wheel drive is standard in Canada, and if you go for the lower trims, you'll get a naturally aspirated version of this Skyactiv-G engine, which produces 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. As far as the spec goes, this is perfection. The iconic Mazda metallic red paint paired with black accents pretty much everywhere. This car looks so good. This is exactly how I would spec it if I were to get a Mazda CX-5. I would even go as far as saying that the CX-5, or at least this CX-5, looks better than the CX-50, despite being effectively a 9-year-old car. Up front, you get LED headlights that are adaptive, a radar sensor in the middle on the Mazda logo, dark chrome grille, and of course, black accents on the splitter here. On the side, you do get a little bit of chrome on the window trims here, but everything else, like your door mirrors, your side skirts, and your wheel arches, are in gloss black. You also get 19-inch black alloy rims paired with 225 wide tires, McPherson struts in the front, and a multi-link setup in the rear. For this trim, you of course also get illuminated door sills and keyless entry. Around back, you get LED taillights, some more black accents down below, and I guess as a perk of having slightly older vehicle designs, you still get real exhaust tips, which I find pretty cool. All trims except for the base model comes with a power trunk, and inside you're looking at about 870 liters worth of space when you have the seats folded up, and a little under 1,700 liters worth of space when you have the seats folded down. This CX-5 gets 40-20-40 split fold-down seats. Compared to the CX-50, you're looking at a little less space when the seats are up and a little more space when the seats are down. Despite, again, being a 9-year-old generation, I actually don't think the interior looks dated. You still get a decently sized screen, and it does support wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Now, a lot of people were complaining how you can't use the CarPlay touchscreen while you're driving, but that's actually not true. You just have to turn on the settings. So if you go into the connectivity settings, scroll down and select your phone, and then you scroll down again, you can see a setting that's something along the lines of touch while driving. Just select that and you can use your touchscreen CarPlay while you're driving. But something I really like about this car is the fact that you don't have to touch the screen all the time. There are physical controls everywhere for your climate, for your volume, for your even infotainment screen. And as for the rotary knob down here, personally, I actually quite enjoy using it. I find it slightly less distracting than to reach forward and touch the screen while you're driving. As for the rest of the front row interior, of course, you get your black leather seats with red stitching, courtesy to the Sport Design trim. You also get leather padding on quite a lot of surfaces. If not, they're soft touch material, so the material used in here is pretty good. You also get a head-up display, a Bose sound system, a wireless charger, folding mirrors, folding side mirrors, and the seats themselves are heated and ventilated for the front row. You get memory function for the driver, and you have a heated steering wheel. Oh, and then you also have a sunroof up top. So far I've been very positive about the CX-5, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot to like about this car, but no car is perfect, and the rear seat space is an area that I find this CX-5 falls a little short compared to its competitors. In terms of space, as a 5'9" adult sitting behind my driving position, I have quite a lot of headroom, but unfortunately the leg room is just not as generous as something like a CR-V or a Tucson or a Sportage could offer. I even think that the Taos from last week, which is a segment smaller than this car, offers more rear legroom than this. Anyway, legroom aside, the rear seats are very nicely equipped with plenty of leather materials, even on the door panel, and soft touch materials, things like that. But there's something really interesting about this CX-5. So, this Sport Design trim comes with heated rear seats, but the heated seat buttons are actually hidden in the center armrest, which means that if you have someone sitting in the middle here, you can't access the heated seats functions. Maybe Mazda just really care about their equality, because if someone is sitting in the middle and doesn't get rear heated seats, no one else back here gets heated seats either. Anyway, all jokes aside, the rear seats are very comfortable, and you do also get an extra click of recline if you prefer. The first thing you'll notice is absolutely the power. Oh. All-wheel drive, but still squeaking the front tires. 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque is definitely no slouch. The boost, when it kicks in, oh man, it's fantastic. It's great. Even when paired to this ancient 6-speed automatic transmission, it still feels really good, really powerful. Now, there is some turbo lag, but it's nothing unpredictable. Power also does drop off a little bit when you get to the top end of the power of the rev range, but the 6-speed actually, in a sense, quite complement this because of the gearing ratios being a bit further apart. When you shift up, it brings the RPM back down to your peak torque range, which is perfect. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about the transmission. Yes, it's old. Yes, it only has 6 speeds, whereas nowadays you can't find anything less than 8, or as a matter of fact, infinite gears from all of those CVTs. But in this case, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This transmission is smooth, it's fairly quick to shift down and shift up even in manual mode, and it doesn't actually hunt for gears because it only has 6 gears to choose from. So overall, I think it's a pretty good transmission. Suspension tuning is a little on the firmer side, but in return, you get pretty good handling. I would even go as far as saying that this is the driver's car of the compact crossover segment. So if you're willing to compromise a little bit of the suppleness for a little bit more of dynamics, this might be a good choice. You can have quite a bit of fun with this powertrain. It squeaks the wheel and it's quite enjoyable. But with great power comes great responsibility, and in this case, the responsibility to fill this car up more often than you would in the base naturally aspirated engine. On the highway, I'm able to manage about 8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is acceptable, but in the city, I'm looking at about 12 liters per 100 kilometers. So if you like fuel economy more than power, you should probably pick the base naturally aspirated engine over this. In terms of safety tech, Mazda did equip the CX-5 with quite a lot of standard features like emergency braking, blind spot warning that beeps at you, rear cross traffic alert, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, things like that. However, the features that I use day to day, especially on the highway, I found is lacking a little bit. For instance, the Sport Design trim is equipped with lane centering, but it only works at low speeds. So anything higher than approximately 65 kilometers an hour, it reverts itself back to the ping pong style lane keep assist. So on the highway, you don't have lane centering. And the adaptive cruise control also brakes quite late, and occasionally it would even require human intervention. It just wouldn't brake enough, so I would have to slam on the brakes because it's getting close to the car in front. So overall, I just don't feel that confident using this adaptive cruise control system. Perhaps these are limitations to the vehicle's age, but I think that these need to be more refined and improved for the next generation. Overall, I think despite the age, the CX-5 still makes a good family crossover. However, the safety tech department and perhaps the rear seat spacing, these two areas are holding it back from being a great family crossover. There should be a brand new generation of the CX-5 on the horizon, so I'm looking forward to see what that's gonna be like and how Mazda is improving it. But for now, that's all from me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.